What's going on, everybody? It's Aurora coming at you with a brand new video, and Konami kind of gave me the finger last night by dropping the basically useless Visa Starfrost support, and then deciding to drop an entire new Visa lore archetype in the morning before I wake up, meaning that I won't be able to get it out as I would like to usually. So that's kind of annoying, but you guys have told me that you don't really mind if it's not like the first one up or whatever, or if you've already seen it before, you just kind of want to see my reaction, or at least some of you. So I'm going to be going ahead and reacting to the Manadome archetype. So the Manadome archetype I know nothing about other than that is finally the first synchro archetype of the Visas lore. So this might end up being the one with the most Visas synergy. Maybe it'll actually synergize around being destroyed, which could lead to some really interesting builds, honestly, as opposed to something like Tier, which is just graveyard good stuff. But I don't want to waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get right into this. So it says find inner peace with Manadome. This is also coming out in Cyberstorm Access, and every so often you just need to spend some time to yourself. So starting off, we have Manadome Reumheart. Is that Reumheart? Rumheart? I'm gonna say Rumheart. It's a level 4 light warrior, 1500 attack, 2100 defense. This is a new target for the Visas Fusion. You can only use each effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is in the hand during the main phase, quick effect, you can target one Manadome monster or one monster with 1500 attack and 2100 defense you control. Destroy that monster, and if you do, special summon this card. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one Manadome card from your deck to your hand except Rumheart. Okay, so I was right, at least it looks like. Targeting and destroying the Manadome monsters or cards will allow you to trigger the, or work with the Visa stuff, sorry, not trigger the Visa stuff. The Visa stuff will trigger this, essentially. So, good to see, actually. I hope this leads to some really fun synergy. We can actually see Visa see some play outside of like some niche tier builds before the Ishizu stuff. Very easy summoning condition, just like Visas himself, and then being able to add any card on summon is always good no matter the archetype. Not to mention, being a light and a warrior is one of the best type combinations you can have in the game. Next up, we have Manadome Hairless. It looks like it's supposed to say Heartless, maybe, I don't know. It is a level 2 Earth Fairy Tuner with 0 attack and 2000 defense. You can only special summon it with its first effect once per turn. If you control Visa Starfrost or a 1500 by 2100 monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon another copy of itself from your deck. Also, during the battle phase of the turn this effect is activated, synchro monsters you control gain 500 attack. So seems like a decently easy special summon condition. It works pretty well with the Visas if you're playing a bunch of copies of Visas in your deck, or if you summon your Rumheart. So easy to get it out there. Being able to summon this, pop it, and then get either Rumheart or Visas out, and then another copy of this is pretty cool, though. Unless the Synchro allows you to use multiple tuners, because I think they only have one Synchro so far, which much like Scareclaw and Shangri-La, or Shatra-La, Kashira, whatever you want to call it, it's really common so far, other than like Tier's like the only one I think that dropped immediately with multiple fusions. But unless the one Synchro says you can use multiple tuners, this could be annoying by using Visas. But along with Rumheart, you can at least go for a level 6 Synchro play there. I don't know the level of the Synchro, I just know they have a Synchro. And then, I mean, the 500 attack is kind of whatever. This feels kind of like a weird version of Thunder Dragon Matrix. I don't know, kind of funny. Next up, we have Manadome Meek. So it looks like both of these are apples. That's kind of cool. I like the cherry blossom tree in the background. It is level 2 Water Fairy Tutor with 0 attack and 800 defense. You can only special summon it with the same special summon condition that Hairless has once per turn. And if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon another copy of itself from your deck. Then you can increase the level of the monster special summon by this effect by 2. So you can end up summoning another one of these and then make it a level 4. So that'll probably help a lot more with your Rumheart on board. So it seems like Rumheart would be just kind of better to open than the Visas here. I don't know, considering that they only summon other copies themselves instead of summoning each other could be kind of annoying, but that's just me. So finally, we're on to this Synchro monster. This is Manadome Prime Heart. It is a level 10 Light Fairy Synchro monster with 3000 attack and defense. It requires one or more tuners, okay, so that does work there, and one light monster. It can attack a number of times each battle phase equal to the number of tuners used as material. This Synchro Summon card using a Manadome tuner as material cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. And if this face-up Synchro Summon card leaves the field due to your opponent, you can special summon a Visa Starfrost or a monster with 1500 attack and 2100 defense from your graveyard or from among your banished monsters. So it seems like more often than not, it's going to have 3 attacks, because you're either going to go Visas and Hairless plus Meek, or you're going to go like Reumheart, Hairless, and Meek by making the Meek level 4. Or there is the chance that you can go Visas and Meek level 4 for just 2 attacks, but I feel like it's mostly going to be 3 attacks. Targeting protection is fine, I guess. And then floating into a Visas or another Rumheart could be good for some follow-up plays. but I feel like this kind of just feels like another big Bungus monster. I mean, ooh, it attacks a bunch of times and it can't be targeted. Like, I feel like just making Baron would kind of be better, would it not? Because nothing locks you so far. I don't know. I guess that's just me. It's just nowhere near the level of power that is a Rise Heart, because a Rise Heart's insane. That's it for the monsters, though. Let's go ahead for the back row. They have, it looks like 3 spells and 2 traps. So starting off with Manadome Imagining, it is a normal spell that says you can only use each effect of this card's name once per turn. Reveal a Manadome monster or a Visas in your hand, draw 2 cards, then return a card from your hand to the bottom of your deck. So it's kind of like a Destiny draw, but a little bit better. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a monster you control with 1500 attack and 2000 defense. That monster is treated as a tuner until the end of this turn. So I mean, this is fine. I mean, it is a draw 2. You do have to put something back, and it relies on you opening another Manadome or Visas Starfrost, and it has to be a monster specifically, so that could be annoying. But I don't know. I just feel like this is kind of a generic draw spell. Next up, we have Manadome Abscission. It is a normal spell that says you can only use each effect once per turn. Target a monster you control, destroy it, and if you do, add a Primal Planet Calarium from your deck to your hand. That's their Primal Planet. Or if you control Calarium, you can add a Manadome SpellsTrap from your deck to your hand, except Abscission instead. You can also banish it from your grave to special summon a Visas or a monster with 1500 by 2100 from your hand. So this is a spell that searches the field spell, I guess. It also triggers your monsters floating, so that's pretty neat. And then banishing to summon from a hand could come up, but I don't know how often it really will. But speaking of Primal Planet Calarium, that's a pretty cool artwork right there. What monster is that? I can't tell, actually. But it says you can only activate one card with this card's name per turn, and you can only use the 3rd effect once per turn. When it resolves, you can add a Manadome monster or a Visas from your deck to your hand. Light monsters you control gain 100 attack for each tuner you control in your graveyard. And if a face-up tuner you control is destroyed by battle or a card effect, you can target one of those monsters and special summon it. So this seems pretty neat. Obviously, it has the requisite searching. The requisite stat gaining by having tuners that you control and in your grave could actually make it very large. And then this will actually at least not just trigger when your monster is destroyed by your opponent. It triggers when you use any of your monster's effects to pop and then special. So between Visas and Rumheart, you can get a few more extra summons of the things that you already destroyed, which is really cool because you can like go Chainlink 1, the like effect to float, and then Chainlink 2 this. So that can help you maybe dodge some stuff. I don't know how strong it is compared to the other planet cards, except for, you know, it's probably better than the Scareclaw one. But otherwise, I feel like this is a perfectly fine field spell. Next up, we have their first trap, Manadome Breakheart. It is a normal trap that says you can only use each effect of this card's name once per turn. It says target a tuner or a synchro monster in your graveyard, special summon it, then if you special summon a light monster with this effect, you can destroy one monster your opponent controls with equal or lower attack than that monster. Also, if Visas or a monster you control 1500 attack and 2000 defense will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard or set instead. So this is some pretty neat recursion that also lets you get a free pop, so that's pretty cool there. It's also very searchable off of the Abscission if you already have Calarium. And then protection in the grave is pretty neat as well, at least from your opponent. You don't want to like prevent your own stuff from triggering. Overall, a fine card. And then finally, we have Manadome Reframing. This is a counter trap that says you can only use each effect once per turn. When a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated while you control a synchro monster, negate the activation. Then if there is a Visas or a 15 by 21 monster in your field or grave, you can destroy that negated card. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 3 Manadome monsters in your graveyard and return them to the deck. So this is a requisite Infernity Barrier that is admittedly kind of worse, because not only do you have to control a synchro, but you also have to have Visas or a 15 by 21 monster on field or in grave just to destroy it. Which, to be fair, I mean, if you have the synchro, that's probably going to happen anyway. But I feel like it could have just been a little bit better there, maybe just by controlling a Manadome or something, I don't know. Oh, but Aurora, it's generic because it just says a synchro monster. Yeah, but who cares? Most decks that want to use something like this already have their own. And then it has like a pseudo Avarice effect, but it doesn't allow you to draw at least like even one card, so that's kind of cringe. But with that out of the way, that looks to be the last of the Manadome cards. So what are my overall thoughts on this archetype? Honestly, I feel like it's just kind of unfinished. Like, it feels a lot like Castra with its first wave. Like, it even only has the 3 monsters, the 1 boss monster, and then some back row. It does have its Primal Planet here, though, so I don't really know if it will be, like, the main only wave. But I mean, at least one more monster would be appreciated. I do appreciate that we're finally giving Visas some use because, you know, being a tuner that also triggers floating effects by popping was always something that was really interesting to go into because, you know, whatever archetype comes out that revolves around it, it could end up having some really insanely good synergy. And while you can definitely see the synergy here, and that's like the main intent, I feel like Rumheart overall just serves a lot better than Visas does. Also, by the way, Visas can't even destroy Rumheart, so that makes it a bit clunky. But speaking of clunky, it just feels like there's not enough. I mean, because you're just going to be maxing out on 3 Meek, 3 Hairless, 3 Rumheart, and then, like, probably 3 Visas. And that's going to end up being a really big brick fest, or even if you don't brick, you're just going to be turboing out either Primeheart, which is a very mediocre boss monster in my opinion, or you're just going to be summoning Baron, which, I mean, ooh, you summoned Baron in your Synchro deck, how fun. They have an okay draw spell, they have, I mean, this searches any of their back row or their field spell, so you have, like, technically 7 copies of the field spell, which only just searches a monster, so, I mean, that makes it a little bit more consistent there for sure. You got a trap that's, like, pseudo-searchable that gets to summon something from grave and then pop, and then you have a counter trap that has some very specific conditions in order to get the best value out of it that other archetypes just have to sneeze to get out. I don't know, I guess that's just me. I just don't feel like until we get more around this, like, this also might be the last Visas archetype, which could be very interesting, but unless we get more around this, I feel like it's not going to be doing nearly as much as something like Tyr or Castro will. Probably something more along the lines of Scareclaw, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. Let me know yours down in the comments below, because that's going to do it for the video. If you liked it, please sure leave a like, as I'll split this video and the channel into YouTube recommended. And if you like this content, you want to see more like it, like the rest of my review series, I've reviewed every single Visas archetype so far, I believe, then perhaps consider subscribing, because we're on our way to 2,500 subscribers by the end of 2022, and we are approaching very fast. But once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Aurora, signing off.